Hello everybody and welcome to the updated video of how to integrate Voiceflow with ManyChat and thereby integrating Voiceflow into Instagram DMs, Facebook Messenger, and all the different features that ManyChat has to offer. Now the old video I made on this, we used Voiceflow, ZAPIER, and ManyChat, which provided a couple of problems. First of all, ZAPIER slowed down the process a lot, so it was much slower for the replies to be sent in Instagram DMs. And on top of that, obviously ZAPIER can get expensive if a client of yours, for example, gets a couple hundred of DMs a day. That's going to cost a lot of zaps and it's going to get more expensive over time. So this solution right here integrates the ManyChat with Voiceflow directly, working directly with the API. And I'm going to show you guys how to set that up today. I'm going to go over the flow real quick and I'm going to explain all the details that you need to set up. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to switch to looking over onto this screen. So right here we have a flow. Which is a copy that I made just for the purpose of this video. Basically, the trigger that I set up is when a user sends a direct message with a keyword containing magic. That's just because I wanted to make sure that the flow that I'm about to show you is working, but you can set this up to have any direct message or any keyword that you want. Then what's going to happen is we're going to set the last reply field to 0. This is very good for debugging purposes so that you can see, okay, before every run, the last reply variable, which is what we send to the user at the end of this whole flow, is set to 0 so that you can see while you're testing it, if something doesn't work, you're going to get a 0 back and it's going to be very easy to test. Then what we're going to do is we're going to check if the user exists inside of Voiceflow. If it does exist, we're going to send a message to the existing user or chat. And if not, we're going to start/launch a new chat. So this also takes some time, the launch request. So by checking this first, and if the user already exists, it's going to be a much faster process. And if he doesn't exist, then we're going to set up the launch request and then we're going to send the message to get the reply back. Then at the end, if last reply is 0, we're not going to send anything. And if the contact doesn't match any of these conditions, so last reply has a value, which we got back from Voiceflow, then we're going to send the last reply variable in Instagram to that user. So now let me just show you the setup real quick. So checking if the user exists is basically this. You use the API URL from Voiceflow, just like that. In here, you need to put the user ID of ManyChat, so the ManyChat user ID. Authorization is going to be API key of Voiceflow. We set that up as a variable, but you can just put your API key in here. And then you have the version ID, which is development. So this is the headers. Then response in this case is empty, and response mapping, you need to set this up, which is going to fill in the field of user ID checker. So there we're just going to check if this user exists. Now the user ID checker, which is the output over here, if it has value, that means yes, the user does exist, and we're going to continue up to here. If it doesn't have any value, so this came back without any value, then we know, okay, this user does not exist yet, we need to set him up. So then we're going to launch this request, which is a start/launch chat request. You just need to put this right up here with the /interact at the end. Again, your API key, the version ID, and this time you need to add something in the body. The request body is as follows. Type launch. So this is the launch request, and there's no response mapping in this case. Then once that chat is launched, or if it was already launched, this is where the message gets sent and the reply comes back from your Voiceflow bot. So you have this right here. The request URL, once again, authorization and version ID, which is the API key and the version ID. Inside of the body, this is what you send. So last text input is a variable from over here, last text input, and that is the last text input that the user sent to you. So the user that you're trying to respond to gave you that input. So that's a field created by ManyChat right here, and you simply send that. And then you have the response mapping, which is this right here, and that's going to be set to last reply. Then obviously we have the last final check. If last reply has the value 0, which we set at the beginning, then obviously something failed and we don't want to send the message. If it's not 0, then we're going to send the message. I'm going to show you this, guys, live in action using the keyword magic. So I'm going to go into the account that we're testing it on. I'm going to type magic. Hello, how are you doing? As you guys can see, I sent the message right here, magic, hello, how are you doing? And we already got the reply back. So as you guys can see, if you watched the last video where we used ZAPIER, much faster, much more simple and cheaper as well. So that is basically the full integration. I'm going to put as much of this as I can down below in the comments with with these codes. Basically, the main thing that you need is for the launch request, I'm going to put in this code right here. And then for the message where you actually get the reply back, I'm going to add this in the description as well, so you guys can just copy and paste that part. I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, comment your thoughts and questions down below, and I'll see you guys soon.